I guess when I'm asked, I would say that I'm a baggy, backsided boy from Brunswick. Dad was a wharfie, worked on the docks his entire life. Very hard-working man, taught me great values of industriousness, family, and again, the harder you work, the better things tend to be. Dad was not an educated man. He left school at about grade 8. I thought that was the missing thing for Dad. And so in my life, I decided that I would become an educated man, which was very important to me. Tennis is a funny part. Again, at one of Dad's wharfie picnics, I can remember vividly down in Mornington, all of these tattooed, blue singleted, huge wharfies were down having a Christmas party, and they handed out these particular Christmas presents. And I got a tennis racket. And we used to holiday down at Rosebud at some little park down there. And so I entered a tennis tournament. I was about age 9, and I happened to get a lady who I thought was really old. She was probably about like 28 or 29 or something, but she was really old as far as I was concerned, being the age that I was. And we won the tournament. So I took up tennis and have no regrets. It's given me a real boost through life. And I ended up being offered about 18 different tennis scholarships from 18 different universities, all these Americans, you know, hi there, would you like to come to our university? And again, being a young 18-year-old boy, this was a tremendous opportunity because the Australian Institute of Sport was not yet in place. So in those days, you either strung rackets for Schlesinger or you played pennant and then got married and buried in suburbia, never to be heard of again. As far as tennis is concerned, look, I've had some very good wins. My best win ever was probably against Arthur Ashe. I've had some very good wins over Bill Scanlon, an American player. I've beaten some very, very good Australian players. I was All-American considered, and I've won the Kooyong Club Championship 3 times, and also in there had 5 children. So I couldn't get to play as much as I wanted. May have even won some more, but we'll never know that. In the early part of my career, I've been involved in a number of big firms, Pacific Dunlop, Kodak, and I travelled around the world, essentially changing these businesses. I was Director of Change, and I ran a major profit and loss centre within Pacific Dunlop. I decided that I would change because I wanted to have more relationships in business. I wanted less politics. I wanted to be able to make a difference. And I'd had some personal changes in my life, namely I became a single father, and therefore I wanted to be able to have more time with my children. I then spoke with some friends about an industry that I might enter that would suit my skill sets, and I think I'm very good at relationships, I'm very good with empathy, I think I've got quite good people skills, and I'm financially literate, and I think I understand business exceptionally well. So I spoke to a number of friends, and they felt that this whole wealth management area was wide open, big changes starting to come into the area, tremendous opportunity, 9% superannuation, moving to 12% in time, an exponential growth likely to occur in that industry. So I decided to move into financial advice to run my own business, which was important to me, also important to me for family reasons. I wanted to be closer to my children and not drifting all over the place to Hong Kong and various other locations, which I had to do in corporate life. People have also asked me about the notion of speaking. Do I enjoy speaking? Yes, I do. I've done a lot of black tie keynote addresses at various functions. I do a lot of corporate speaking. I think the reasons people tend to choose me is in part the doctorate, that I have all the current thinking and ways of examining issues. Number 2, that I am a practitioner, that I'm just not a staff person who advise. I run a P&L. I've run a business. I've started it from scratch to one of Victoria's finest businesses. I also think the other experiences that I've had, I've worked in big companies, I've worked in small companies, I've turned companies around in terms of major change efforts, etc. So I think I am called upon often to speak. You can take me out of Brunswick, but I'm not sure you can take the Brunswick out of me. At the end of the day, I am a poor boy made good, and I've worked exceptionally hard. I've got really no network breaks. I didn't attend Melbourne Grammar or Xavier or Scotch College. I have no particular network. Everything that I've done, I've had to do from scratch. And I think personally that's the best way. I mean, I'm actually very proud that I'm self-made. This is very, very important to me. I live by a number of values: hard work, honesty, integrity, and the motto of our firm is, of course, a safe pair of hands. But personally, if you ask me about myself, there are two that I hold very close to myself. One would be, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I have been blessed. I've been blessed with the opportunity to go on a tennis scholarship. I mean, to hit a tennis ball around and to get a free education is an extraordinary blessing. To have 5 magnificent children, none of them with handicaps, all of them capable, bright men and women. So I feel exceptionally blessed with that. The other adage that I live by is, there but for the grace of God go I. And that simply means don't judge, don't come quick to conclusions, but because again, ills can befall all of us, and it is by luck and good fortune and providence that we have the ability to negotiate a life that I feel very blessed that I've had.